Few eating trends have captivated popular attention in recent years as much as the ketogenic diet. But is the ketogenic diet worth following? Like all strict eating patterns, there are some serious pros and cons to weigh before beginning. By the end of this video, you'll be one step closer to understanding whether going keto is right for you. The Keto Diet. The Keto Diet regimen is a way of eating where you power your body on fats, rather than on carbohydrates. The standard ketogenic diet is made up of 75% fats, 20% proteins, and 5% carbohydrates. Still, there is room for changes to meet your personal goals. When you eat 2,000 calories per day, this breaks down to about 167 grams of fats, 100 grams of protein, and 25 grams or less of carbohydrates. Typical American diet looks very different to the keto diet. It is composed of about 35% fat, 15% protein, and 50% carbohydrates. The interest in alternative eating patterns has grown after large bodies of research attribute many chronic diseases to the Western mode of eating. Supporters of the keto diet contend that the solution to many of the health issues that arise from poor dietary patterns is changing the way your body fuels itself, by providing most calories in the form of fats, instead of carbohydrates. Limiting your carbohydrate intake, and consuming healthy fats instead, the ketogenic diet puts your body into ketosis. Ketosis is a metabolic state, where the liver converts fats into acids called ketone bodies, that it uses for fuel. This process simulates fasting conditions to switch up your energy supply. Interestingly, there are some significant side effects from this process, some positive and others less so. The big question is, what are the pros and cons of the ketogenic diet? But before we dive in, let's stop for a brief moment to subscribe to this channel so you will be kept abreast of new updates. What's more, I have a few gifts in the description and comments section. They are about products which have helped thousands of people to manage their weight. I hope you will check out the products to try them. That being said, here are the pros and cons of the ketogenic diet. Pros and cons of the ketogenic diet. The big question is, what will the ketogenic diet do to your body? Here are some of the diet's most commonly reported benefits and side effects. Benefits. Can help you lose weight. One of the most popular reasons people follow the keto diet is because it helps you lose weight, and keep it off in the long term, when compared to low-fat diets. My clothes were fitting better, my abs were coming out of hibernation. Now I understand why this diet is so popular for people who are trying to lose weight quickly, Dr. Mike said. A study shows that the diet significantly impacts the amount of body fat you metabolize for energy, and following a diet based around high-fat foods tends to boost satiety, help you feel fuller for longer, so that you want to snack less during the day. This keeps calorie counts under control, which can lead to weight loss, and an overall change in your body composition. May improve cognitive functioning. The ketogenic diet has long been understood to affect brain functioning. The high-fat content in the diet helps reduce inflammation that triggers nerve pain in the brain. Research reveals that overweight patients who go on the diet experience fewer migraines than they did previously. A number of research are also speculative that the diet can reduce the symptoms, or hinder the development of neurological diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The initial studies suggest that the keto diet may help to regulate ADHD symptoms. Additional evidence shows that powering the brain on ketones can improve the outcome after traumatic brain injuries in young populations, though most research today has only included animal models. May slow various cancers. Facts reveal that following a keto diet might slow the spread of tumor cells and even suppress their growth altogether. The reason? Experts have demonstrated it might have to do with the glucose-dependent metabolism of cancer cells. By depriving cancer cells of glucose, oxidative stress may develop in cancer cells but not in healthy cells. This metabolic change caused by the keto diet could even make cancer cells more responsive to radiation and chemotherapy. May reduce inflammation caused by high blood sugar. The ketogenic diet helps reduce your insulin levels. Consistently high insulin levels trigger various health problems like diabetes and cancer. There is also evidence to suggest that the ketogenic diet can reduce your overall insulin sensitivity, which makes it easier for your body to process carbohydrates effectively. Helps you to kick the sugar habit. On average, Americans consume about 152 pounds of added sugar in 1 year. That is 3 pounds of sugar in 1 week. This is 7 to 10 times more than the recommended limit. The ketogenic diet reduces your consumption of sugar, by making it easier to fight off sugar cravings, since each meal leaves you satiated. Also, the diet restricts your carbohydrate intake to 25 grams per day. This means, you'll cut your sugar intake down to almost nothing, which makes it easier to quit the habit altogether. May increase female fertility. More than 10% of American women under 44 struggle to conceive or carry a pregnancy to term. Since the ketogenic diet alters a person's metabolism, many find that following this diet seems to help some of the underlying issues with fertility. The eating strategy positively affects weight and insulin levels, and it can regulate the hormonal effects of polycystic ovarian syndrome (PCOS). Disadvantages. No diet is perfect, and the ketogenic diet has its share of downsides. Most initial weight loss is water. It's not uncommon to experience dramatic weight loss when you first go keto, but the initial reason for that loss is temporary. These initial losses are primarily attributed to water weight from burning your glycogen stores. If you add carbs back to your diet, some of those pounds will return. Dr. Mike acknowledges that some of that weight loss would have been water weight, which is not a sustainable change. Long-term research is limited. Although the diet popular today, little is known about the effects of the ketogenic diet on your health over time. This leaves the experts with more questions than answers about its effectiveness after years or decades of commitment. A lack of conclusive evidence about whether ketogenic followers will regain the weight, or suffer other health consequences, meaning that following the eating method today might potentially put you at risk in the future. The diet may trigger brain fog. Your brain is primed to run on glucose, and reducing its supply can affect your mental functioning. This is because your body struggles to transition from using an available energy supply to making its own, which can affect brain functioning in ways that lead to memory loss, headaches, slower cognition, and general brain fog. However, these effects are usually temporary, and dissipate once the brain adjusts to burning ketone bodies instead. But those who are predisposed to mental health issues like anxiety and depression might feel these effects more acutely, meaning that the ketogenic diet may not be the best choice for them. Risk of intake reduction of some nutrients. The keto diet limits the consumption of carbohydrates to about 5% of total calorie intake. While we often think of bread, rice, and pasta when we think of carbs, many fruits and vegetables are also sources of carbohydrates. In addition, fruits and vegetables are very nutrient-rich, containing important sources of vitamins, minerals, and other phytochemicals. In people following the keto diet, intakes of vitamin A, C, K, folate, and fibers, among others, are usually low. Using the keto diet without paying special attention to your intake of micronutrients could lead to long-term health problems. Easy to overconsume saturated and trans fats. The ketogenic diet prioritizes fats above all other macronutrients. But it can be hard for beginners to know that not all fats are metabolized in the body in the same way. Eating foods that are sources of saturated fats, especially animal-based saturated fats, may lead to an increased risk of heart disease and cancer. Many people who try the keto diet may choose conventional animal fats and processed fats over quality fats and oils like those that come from plants and organic or grass-fed animal products. Potentially dangerous for those at risk of eating disorders. The ketogenic diet, as with some other diets, requires careful scrutiny of each meal you eat. It can pose a problem for those with a history of disordered eating. Some people following this eating plan can lead to compulsive and obsessive behaviors. Categorizing so many foods as off-limits can lead to negative associations with food that are physically and mentally damaging. Likewise, failing to follow the diet perfectly might lead to feelings of guilt and inadequacy, all of which should be carefully weighed before beginning. Might trigger kidney stones. Between 3% and 10% of people who follow the ketogenic diet for months at a time develop kidney stones, partly because of its lack of fiber. The risk can be reduced by ensuring that you stay hydrated and eating those foods that are keto approved with higher fiber content or taking a fiber supplement. Might cause digestive distress. When you first transition to keto eating, the high-fat, low-carb diet has the potential to lead to digestive problems like diarrhea or constipation. The symptoms typically disappear after a few weeks, but they can be alarming at first. It is important to stay hydrated, and to consume fiber and electrolytes when you are on the keto diet. Bad breath is common. One temporary, yet inconvenient, side effect of entering ketosis is bad breath. This happens because your body is breaking down acetoacetic acid, which many people say produces a similar smell to nail polish and can taste metallic. Your urine, while you're in ketosis, often smells the same way. Ketosis could affect your athletic skills. It is debatable how the ketogenic diet affects athletic performance. Some people find that this eating strategy hurts their results. Athletes that are looking to maximize their power may struggle to put on weight and improve their strength with a low-carbohydrate diet. But endurance athletes that need to sustain their energy for long periods of time might become more efficient if they fuel themselves on fat stores. Even so, the diet is more difficult for athletes to follow than less active people, because athletes' bodies demand more energy, and your body might have trouble metabolizing high quantities of fat at first. You might get the keto flu. As your body adapts to the ketogenic diet, you might go through a period of transition that leaves you feeling weak and exhausted. Followers of the eating plan call this the keto flu, and it can leave you feeling weak, lightheaded, irritable, mentally slow, constipated, and lethargic. The symptoms usually subside within a few days to a few weeks. After being on the keto diet a few days, Dr. Mike said he was incredibly tired, fatigued and burned after exercising. Do's and don'ts of the keto diet. If you're ready to try the ketogenic diet, then it is important to set yourself up for success from day one. Below are some do's and don'ts to keep in mind as you transition into the keto diet. Dose. Stick with healthy fats like eggs, avocado, and extra virgin olive oil. Eat low-carb greens as much as possible to maximize your nutrient intake. Eat berries regularly, one of the few keto-approved fruits that are high in nutrients. Eat real food made from whole ingredients, nothing processed. Source organic, grass-fed animal products as much as possible. Stay hydrated, it helps offset the loss of fiber in your diet. Keep a food journal to track how you feel over time. Consider a modified keto diet if the restrictions are too severe. Consult with your doctor before beginning if you have underlying medical conditions. Always read the nutritional information of foods before you eat them. Consider nutritional or health coaching to ensure you follow the eating plan correctly. Replace your electrolytes by drinking bone broth and eating nuts, seeds and cacao powder. Don'ts. Don't follow the keto diet if you have a history of pancreatic disease, liver conditions, thyroid problems, eating disorders, or gallbladder disease. Avoid eating fast food as much as possible. Avoid trans fats. Avoid any processed food listed as low fat. Don't overeat. The high satiety of keto-friendly food might mean that your plate looks emptier at mealtimes than it did before. Don't stress about calories. There's little reason to monitor your amounts if your macronutrient ratios are where they should be. Don't follow the keto diet if your doctor has advised you against it. Thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe and try out the products in the description.